You're listening to the Persistence Mastery Podcast to give your communication skills the clarity edge with your host, Paul Leon.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. So this episode is going to be pretty exciting, and this is something I actually came up with my partner and I through a lot of our career experience, and we're really going to focus on the 4 F's of focus. This is something we struggle, challenge ourselves with on a daily, weekly, yearly basis. And what I have found is this is pretty transferable in a lot of different careers and in our communication. Because when we don't have focus and we don't have balance, it's hard for us to really concentrate on what we need to say, what words we need to prioritize to ensure we're empowering people in the workplace. And with that said, before we get into the content, if you like this podcast, please like and subscribe, give us a good rating. It really helps the channel a lot and helps other people who can really benefit from this really positive information. And with that said, let's jump into the 4 F's of focus. The first F is faith. Now, this is not meant to be said in a religious sense. Faith can mean a lot of different things. Maybe you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to branch out into that new product or business idea. Well, it takes a certain level of faith to ensure that it's going to work out for you. And what you may want to do is not necessarily look at religious systems, but look at what other people are doing to improve their faith. There was one professional that I was connecting with where this person uses yoga and it improves their faith. Now, I'm not big into yoga. I do need to stretch more. However, I respect that system. I respect that she uses that type of path to help her with her faith. And again, faith is just simply believing in something you can't see yet. And you can see example of this time and time again in different business stories or in other types of mediums. The second one is family. When we can balance our family, this is important. Now, everyone's family background is different. Not all of us grew up with a traditional family. Some of us are adopted, or some of us may have a different type of story and how we define what family really is. But if we don't balance this part of our life, our household, it can really hurt us. I remember years ago listening to a Tony Robbins when I was in between sales appointments. And I remember him saying that who you pick to be your family for the rest of your life can dictate 90% of your happiness. That's a pretty big number. So again, faith and family are the first 2 F's of focus when it comes to being a more focused individual in our day-to-day workplace. The third one is finances. And this is important. Now, there's a really good documentary on Netflix. If you just type in finances right now, there's a ton of really awesome documentaries about simple finances. And this is maybe boring topic, but being able to balance a budget for your household or for your business or for your taxes at the end of the year is an incredible essential skill. And if we don't take the time to really figure out our finances, we can start to lose out on where we can kind of dictate that money goes. For you, maybe those finances may be investing more into your community or invest into your local religious organization. When you can have a budget, you get to dictate what comes first. And maybe your situation doesn't allow you feel, to have some type of budget. And what I have found for people who give that excuse to me that, hey, I can't really make a budget, I'm too broke, or I'm working 9 to 5 or paycheck to paycheck, I can't even start. Well, if that's your story, you definitely need to make a budget significantly more than probably most people. And here's why. You don't really want to work your job day in and day out and really work in a constant state of desperation. You want to work from inspiration. And what I have found that helps me and my partner and my family is really balancing our budget within our finances. And this last one is fitness. Now, everyone's got, again, a different story And maybe some of you can't really prioritize fitness for medical reasons or whatnot. And you're definitely going to want to spend time connecting with your doctor or whoever is your subject matter expert. I would hope it's a doctor and somebody in the medical field that you connect with first and really kind of create a pragmatic fitness plan that works with your day in and day out. And this is a big area for a lot of people. If you're not healthy and you don't have your health, it really doesn't matter all the other areas, especially when you're working your day to day. So again, I don't want you to think about these 4 F's of focus as a way as what comes first either. How you can really use these 4 F's of focus, faith, family, finances, and fitness, is you can holistically sit back and simply take a piece of paper and make a plus sign. And on the left side, put the first F, which is faith. Put on the next one, family. And then in the bottom left, finances. And in the bottom right, fitness. And start simply to bullet point, what do you already have in these areas? That's the first step in really balancing your 4 F's of focus. Start with what you already have in faith, in family, in finances, and fitness. And this is important to start with what you do have. You know, my abuela, before she passed, used to play a card game with my family. And she would always say before she wins this card game, count your blessings. And then she'd win the card game. Now, that's a sarcastic story with a funny ending on some level, but that's why it's important for you to start with what you do have. Count your blessings first before you start to look at gaps, because we can start to really count your blessings first when seeing how you can improve the 4 F's of focus. You start to empower yourself as a stronger professional in your day to day. And when you do this consistently, weekly, yearly, and so on, you start to become a more focused individual.
Thank you for listening to the Persistence Mastery Podcast. Subscribe to where you listen to podcasts. And if you want to hire Paul to train or speak for your team, visit persistencemastery.com and fill out the request training form.